You were making real progress. You were learning new words every week. You understood more than before, and then nothing. You stopped improving. Your English just froze. And the scary part? You're still studying every single day.
This is called the English plateau, and it happens to almost every learner at some point. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not your fault. And today, we're going to fix it.
By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly why your progress stopped, what you can do about it right now, and how to start improving again, faster than you think.
Welcome to Master English Talks. I am so happy you're here with us today, because honestly, this topic is one we've been wanting to talk about for a while.
Alex, can I ask you something? Have you ever felt like no matter how much you studied, you just weren't getting any better?
Oh, absolutely. I remember preparing for an English presentation. I'd been studying for months, so I thought I'd be fine. And then I opened my mouth, and I sounded exactly the same as 6 months ago. Same mistakes, same hesitations. I was so frustrated.
That feeling is so real, and so many learners experience it. Today, we're going to talk about the plateau, what it actually is, why it happens, and most importantly, the secret to breaking through it.
Before we jump in, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, have you ever felt like your English stopped improving even though you were still studying? Drop a comment below right now. We read every single one.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. What is a learning plateau? A plateau is like a flat mountaintop. In English learning, it's when your progress becomes flat. You were going up, 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 and then suddenly you stop going up. You're just flat.
And the frustrating thing is, you're still putting in the work. You're still watching videos, listening to podcasts, maybe doing grammar exercises, but you don't feel like you're improving.
So why does this happen? There are a few really specific reasons, and once you understand them, the solution becomes much clearer.
The first reason is something called the comfort zone trap. When you first start learning English, everything is new. Every word, every sentence structure is a challenge, and challenges make your brain work hard. Hard work means growth.
But here's what happens over time. You get comfortable. You learn the same 500 words and use them again and again. You watch videos that are maybe a little too easy for you. You have conversations only about topics you already know. And when your brain is comfortable, it stops growing.
Think about it like going to the gym. If you always lift the same weight, your muscles stop getting stronger. Your brain is exactly the same. You need to challenge it, push it to keep growing.
The second reason is passive learning versus active learning. This is a big one. Passive learning is when you just receive information. You watch a video, you listen to a song, you read an article. You feel like you're studying, but you're not actually using the language.
Active learning is the opposite. It's when you produce language. You speak, you write, you have a real conversation. Active learning is what actually creates improvement.
Here's a question for you. When was the last time you spoke English out loud for more than 5 minutes? Not in your head, out loud. If you can't remember, that might be a big reason you're on the plateau. Tell us in the comments, do you practice speaking English every day or mostly just listening and reading?
The third reason, and this one surprises a lot of people, is that you've learned the basics and now the next level is actually harder to see. In the beginning, your progress is obvious. You go from knowing 0 words to knowing 200 words. That feels amazing. But when you go from intermediate to upper intermediate, the improvement is smaller and slower. It's still happening. You just can't feel it as easily.
So sometimes the plateau isn't that your progress stopped, it's that your progress became invisible to you. You're still growing. The steps are just smaller now. The good news is there are things you can do to make the progress bigger and faster again, and that's exactly what we're talking about next. Now you understand why the plateau happens, let's talk about the good stuff. How do you actually break through it?
The first strategy is what I call deliberate discomfort. Remember the comfort zone trap? The solution is simple, but not easy. You have to do things in English that feel uncomfortable on purpose.
For example, if you usually watch English videos with subtitles, try turning them off. If you usually read easy articles, find something a little harder, a news article, a short story, a podcast about a topic you don't know much about. If you usually talk about your daily routine, try discussing something completely different, technology, philosophy, your favorite film.
That discomfort you feel, that's your brain working hard. That's growth.
The second strategy is to change how you practice, not just how much. And this is where a lot of learners get it wrong. They think practicing more means doing the same thing more often, but what actually breaks the plateau is practicing differently.
Let me give you a real example. Let's say you want to practice speaking. Instead of just talking to yourself in the mirror, try this. Tell a story. Tell me something that happened to you today.
Okay, this morning I woke up and honestly, I was exhausted. I hit snooze 3 times. Then I remembered I had an early call and I basically jumped out of bed and made the fastest cup of coffee in history.
See? That's a real story. It had past tense, it had emotion, it had natural language. That is so much more useful than just saying, I woke up, I had coffee, I went to work.
Try it yourself right now. Pause the video, tell a story about something that happened to you this week. Say it out loud in English. Ready? Go ahead. We'll be here when you come back.
Welcome back. How was that? Was it harder than you expected? That's completely okay. That difficulty is the point.
The third strategy, and this might be the most important one, is called input plus one. This idea comes from a famous language researcher named Stephen Krashen. The concept is simple. You should always be learning material that is just one level above where you are right now. Not 5 levels above, that's too hard. Not at your same level, that's too comfortable. Just one step above, slightly challenging.
So if you understand about 80% of a conversation right now, find something where you understand about 70%. That 10% gap, that's your learning zone. That's your growth zone.
And the fourth strategy is to track what you know versus what you don't know. Most people only study what they already know. They practice the grammar rules they've already mastered. They use vocabulary they already feel confident with. But growth comes from finding your gaps and filling them.
Here's a practical way to do this. For 1 week, every time you hear a word or phrase in English that you understand but would never naturally use yourself, write it down. At the end of the week, practice using those words and sentences. That gap between understanding and using, that's your plateau zone. Closing that gap is how you move to the next level.
So which of these 4 strategies do you think will help you most? Tell us in the comments. Number 1, deliberate discomfort. Number 2, practicing differently. Number 3, input plus 1. Or number 4, tracking your gaps. Drop your number below. We're curious.
Now let's talk about the mistakes, because this section gets real. These are the things learners do that actually keep them stuck on the plateau without even realizing it.
And look, these mistakes make complete sense. They feel like the right thing to do, but they're quietly working against you.
Wrong. Studying English every day, but only ever doing the same activities. Correct. Varying your study activities, mixing speaking, writing, listening, reading, and vocabulary work.
I did this for a whole year. I watched English YouTube videos every single day. Just YouTube. That was my entire English practice. And I felt productive, but I wasn't getting better at speaking or writing because I wasn't doing anything with the input. I was just collecting it.
Mistake number 2. Wrong. Telling yourself, I'm not ready to speak yet. I need to learn more first. Correct. Starting to speak as early as possible, even when you make mistakes. Speaking is a skill. The only way to improve at a skill is to practice it. Waiting until you feel ready means waiting forever, because that feeling of readiness only comes from doing, not from preparing.
This one is so common. So many learners say, I'll start speaking when my grammar is better. But here's the thing. Your grammar gets better through speaking. It's a circle. You can't wait for the circle to start on its own.
Mistake number 3. Wrong. Measuring your progress by how many lessons you finished or how many words you added to your vocabulary list. Correct. Measuring progress by what you can actually do in English, what conversations you can have, what ideas you can express.
Why? Collecting knowledge is not the same as building a skill. A skill only becomes real when you can use it in real situations with real pressure.
Don't worry. Every single learner makes these mistakes at some point. The important thing is that now you know, and knowing is half the battle. The other half is doing something about it.
Here's your challenge for this section. In the comments, write one habit you're going to stuff in your English practice, one thing that might be keeping you on the plateau. Writing it down makes it real. We genuinely want to see your answers.
Okay, time for a quick practice. We're going to give you 3 situations and 2 options each. You choose which one shows more advanced natural English. Ready? Let's go.
Situation 1. You want to describe your English plateau to a friend. Option A, my English is not improving. Option B, I feel like I've hit a plateau. I'm putting in the work, but I'm not seeing the progress I used to.
Which is better? Option B. Option A is basic and it closes the conversation. Option B explains how you feel, shows self-awareness, and invites the other person to respond. Advanced speakers don't just say what's happening, they explain how they experience it.
Situation 2. You want to describe a change in your learning. Option A, I will try to speak more. Option B, I've decided to push myself out of my comfort zone. I'm going to start having conversations about topics I'm not familiar with.
Option B again. Push myself out of my comfort zone is a natural, common English phrase. Topics I'm not familiar with is more precise than just new things. Option B sounds like someone who is thoughtful and intentional. That's who you're becoming.
Say option B out loud right now. I've decided to push myself out of my comfort zone. Say it slowly, then say it again a little faster. Repetition builds confidence, and confidence builds fluency.
Situation 3. A friend asks why your English has improved so much recently. Option A, I practiced a lot. Option B, I realized I was stuck in a plateau, so I changed how I was practicing. I started focusing on things that actually challenged me.
Option B, because it tells a story. It shows growth. It shows that you make conscious, intentional choices about your learning. That's the language of someone who's in control of their progress.
Now, here's your creative challenge. In the comments, write your own sentence using one of these phrases from today. Hit a plateau, push myself out of my comfort zone, or input +1. Show us you can use it naturally. We honestly love reading your sentences. They always make our day.
Okay, let's bring everything together. Today, you learned 3 really powerful things. First, what a plateau is and exactly why it happens, the comfort zone trap, too much passive learning, and progress becoming invisible. Second, 4 strategies to break through, deliberate discomfort, practicing differently, the input +1 method, and tracking your gaps. And third, the 3 common mistakes that keep learners stuck and precisely how to avoid them.
You did so well today, and I want you to really hear this. The fact that you're here, listening to this, thinking carefully about your learning, that already puts you ahead of most people. Most learners just accept the plateau and slowly give up. But you're not doing that. You're curious, you're committed, and that matters more than any technique we could ever teach you.
If this episode helped you, even a little, please give us a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more people find this channel and discover these lessons. And if you haven't subscribed to Master English Talks yet, now is a great time. We release new episodes every week, all designed to help you grow your English in a way that's practical, real, and actually fun.
And one last thing before you close this video. Tell us in the comments what is one thing you're going to do differently in your English practice starting today. Just one thing. Write it down. That's your commitment. That's your first step off the plateau.
Remember what we said at the very beginning of this episode. The plateau isn't the end of your progress. It's actually a signal that you are ready for the next level. The only question is whether you're willing to push through. And we believe completely that you are.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. It genuinely means everything. Keep practicing, keep pushing, and we'll see you next time.